Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the 14th day of May, 2025. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. Hope your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the area of health, trying to heal people. Blessings upon those that are also working with first responders who risk their lives to save people's lives. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage to keep our places clean and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are trying to help those that are victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators. Double curses on those who profit from these things, and double curses on all the perverts that create the excessive demands that cause these things to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and veterans homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's scheduled to be a basketball game tonight. The New York Knicks will be taking on the Boston Celtics at TD Garden. The New York Knicks, as we know, are 3-1 up on the Boston Celtics. They're going to be playing the game in Boston, but figuratively, the ball is in the Knicks' court. The reason I say that is because the Knicks have now gotten the formula to beat the Boston Celtics. Now, aside from that, we know Jason Tatum is out. Jason Tatum is not going to be able to play. Jason Tatum leads the Celtics in scoring, rebounding, and assists. He did that during the regular season, and he did it in the playoffs. Everything Boston does revolves around Jason Tatum. He is not going to be there. Now, they will play hard. This is no doubt. They're going to be playing because they're literally playing for their season. They lose tonight, it's win or go home for Boston. Win or go home. So they're going to be playing for their season. They have a couple of options. Now, with Tatum out, they have basically, I see two options. I would rule out starting Kristaps Porzingis only because of the fact that Kristaps Porzingis' health has been in question for a minute now, and he basically, let me see, the last game which they lost, he played 24 minutes. Maybe he plays 24 minutes tonight. Maybe he plays 30 since it's an all-out try to win type situation. But I think they would either start Peyton Pritchard and go small, which means you'd have Al Horford at the 5, Brown at the 4, and then 3 guards: Holiday, Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard. Or they can go big and have Luke Cornett start, and then Al Horford at the 4, and have the rest of their regular starters in terms of Brown, White, and Holiday. So, and they might use a combination of that. I expect that tonight. The larger group would be a better rebounding team, and they got dominated on the boards by the Knicks in the last game. The Knicks had 43 rebounds, 13 offensive rebounds, and then Boston had a total of 30, I think it was 31 rebounds and only 7 of it. So they might start with the bigger group today for the rebounding. But they could go small, and they probably will do in the course of the game. For the Knicks, though, that does not matter. The Knicks' game plan is exactly as it was the last game plan. Stay home. Stay home on the shooters. Don't gamble. Stay close to your shooter, especially now that Tatum's out. Derek White is their most dangerous shooter in the starting 5. Peyton Pritchard is their best shooter in terms of overall bench or starting 5 in their rotation. Stay home on these guys. Do not help out. Do not leave them open. Okay? They're going to be throwing up a lot of threes, Tatum or not. Tatum just was there to take the most threes. So in the last game, he took by himself 16 threes. Okay? They took a total of 48 threes. He took 16 of them. White took 11 of them. You can expect that to continue. So and Pritchard off the bench took 7, and then Brown took 8. We want Brown to take 16. That's what we want, just like last time. And whoever's guarding Brown could help out on Porzingis or who when he goes and posts in the middle of the floor. The same game plan. Okay. Again, many of y'all focus too much on offense, what the Knicks need to do in your view offensively. That should never be your focus in the NBA playoffs. It should always be 100% of the time defense. If you notice, like I said the last time, if the defense is flowing, the offense starts flowing. Everything is predicated on getting stops in the NBA playoffs. The team that gets the most stops usually wins. Okay? And especially when you're getting deep into it like we are now. So get stops. Use the stops to start your offense. Rebounds. Get the rebound, start the offense. Josh Hart is particularly adept, as we know, at this. He's a one-man fast break when he gets the offense, when he gets a rebound. And so that's what makes him very dangerous and hard to game plan against. You can't game plan against a guy that gets his offense started with a rebound and does a lot of rebounding. So he got 9 boards the last game. He was +8, 2 offensive, and he had 6 points. But it was the activity that he causes that problem for the opponent. Boston was lucky. He had 5 fouls. 2 of them were garbage calls, but he had 5 fouls. That's what slowed that down a little bit. But Josh Hart is key here for that. So stay home, rebound the basketball. Okay, keep the turnovers low. Now this is the playoffs, so it's gonna be intense. They did good last time. They had 12 turnovers. That was about at the spot you need to be. Better would be better. Less would be better, but that's good. 12 turnovers is not a problem. Again, you want Jaylen Brown shooting as many threes as you can get him to shoot. Okay, he's a 31% three-point shooter. He is even worse than that in the playoffs. So get him to shoot as many as you want. Just don't let him drive to the basket. That's where he's dangerous. He's a bully ball dude, strong dude, athletic as all, and he will get to the basket and score. He's very good at that. That's why they're paying him $49 million this year. So that is the game plan, okay? It doesn't change. The thing I like about understanding a clear game plan is the Knicks could just focus on performing that. That's it. They don't even have to think about it. Let's do it. The only guy last time that started off trying to fade off too much was McCall. He has to start this game staying on Derek White. Okay, start this game. Now, good thing about, unfortunately, for Tatum being out is that, well, we could put OG on a bunch of dudes. We could put OG on Brown. We could put OG on Hartford, or if you want. We could switch all over the place. That ain't no problem. Porzingis, OG could guard Porzingis, no problem. So I think they'll start the game off probably putting OG on Brown. Probably. And that would nullify bully ball. He ain't gonna bully ball OG. I'm gonna guarantee you that right now. He's not. He might outquick OG, use quickness, because that's what makes Jaylen Brown special. And not only is he ultra athletic for a dude that's what is he, like 220? The boy look heavily muscled. Let me just see what they say here. Let me look at it because somebody gonna do it. 223, 6'6", 223. He's built like a doo-doo house, brick doo-doo house. That's the boy. He go on you, right? So he's strong enough to go on you and flush it, and he's quick enough to get by you. Yeah. So OG might be the candidate for that. That way, also, what makes that dangerous is OG will be the dude to double up Porzingis, and with them 7-foot wingspan, that's a problem for Boston. So that is the game plan. Mitch Rob played what? He played 25 minutes. See, we started off with Mitch Rob getting 15 minutes a night, 16, then went to 18. Now it's 25. Many people don't even notice how subtly Thibodeau starts doing stuff like that, and then they'll claim Thibodeau don't make adjustments, but they're really not paying attention. That's the thing that frustrates me. People are not paying attention and making statements about what Tibbs is or isn't doing. Pay attention, okay? So now, Mitch Rob played 25. I expect him to do that tonight in this closeout game. Deuce played 20. I think a slight uptick in that would be warranted. And the reason I'm saying that is I think Tibbs will do that. I could see Deuce getting about 24 minutes tonight. So you get that got your game plan, rebound the basketball, control the basketball, stay with your man, stay home. These guys are still dangerous shooters, even without Tatum on the floor, and get this done. Somebody mentioned that they were 8-2 without Tatum in the regular season. Also, the Boston Celtics beat the Knicks 4-0 in the regular season. So what does the regular season mean? Nothing. Okay, so yeah, let's get this done. Look, Cleveland was the top team in the league in the regular season. About this time now, Wednesday, they should be catching their flights for vacation. Regular season is all good, but you got to be built for the playoffs. And what now some of y'all should be understanding. Tibbs and the Don and the Knicks built this team for the playoffs. They don't build it to go on a long winning streak in October and November. They build it to be ready in April and May. And guess what? Here we be. Okay? That's why they sat Mitch Rob as long as they could to make sure he was 100%. That's why they didn't trade him for Walker Kessler or any of these other knuckleheads. You vote Jonas Valanciunas or anybody, because they wanted him to do exactly what he's doing right now. Okay? So let's get this chip. The Knicks are in, and I've been saying this, they're in championship contention. This team, once they actually got McCall, before we even once we got McCall Bridges, once they traded RJ and Emmanuel quickly, that was it. They was in championship mode, rebuild over, okay? Then they went and added Cat. It's championship mode right now. This is year one of a championship mode. That should be the case for the next 3 seasons after this. Okay, I wasn't expecting them to win it this year because it's the first year of them together. We'll talk more about that because we just got to get this dub. And if they get this dub, we got to talk more about that. But for now, this is their first year together, okay? And they're starting to gel at this time. And what the key thing when you understand a team, any team gelling, in this case it's our team, the New York Knicks, is that they're able to follow a game plan and put that together flawlessly and work together harmoniously in the game plan. That's what you're seeing now, okay? And again, with all of that, you know how we always flow. Never bet against Jalen Brunson. That should be a lesson the league is learning. Don't ever, that fool woman got on the TV talking about you'll never win a championship with a 6'1" point guard. Listen, fool. Never bet against Jalen Brunson. Somebody tell the fool that. Don't do that. People been betting against him since he was in high school. 2 championships in high school, 2 championships at Villanova. And the way it's looking right now, I think the boy's on a mission. And the whole crew of the Knicks with him. I wouldn't bet against Jalen Brunson. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, one more thing. Nobody get hurt. I didn't want Tatum to go out like that. Didn't want him to go out like that. For real. And I don't understand. I mean, on a side note, I didn't listen to him because I don't have the patience to listen to idiocy. I'm too old for that. I've been around a long time. I think I've heard it all. So the talk about rebuild and breaking it up in Boston, they tripping. You got Tatum is in his prime, and this is the beginning of his prime at 27. So let's say he takes a whole year to get back, right? He takes a whole year to get back. That means when he's back to full strength, he's 28. You still got 3 more seasons of him being him, top 5 player in the world. Then you still got Jaylen Brown is 28. Drew Holiday, your old dudes is Holiday, Horford. Those your old dudes, okay? Horford 38, Holiday 34. They just extended Holiday. So Holiday's going to play this year age 34, 35, 36, and he got a player option in 27, 28 at 37. A lot of dudes play to age 30. Look, Horford's 38 and he balling. So I would keep this team together for at least 2 more seasons, okay, before you start talking about rebuild or blowing it up. See how people overreact. I thought it was only Knicks Nation, but I'm looking at some Boston stuff, and they talking about trading KP, and they call them misstop, or no, Porzingis, man, you would never think that they won a championship last year. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if they did not have KP last year, they wouldn't have won no championship. So I mean, but anyway, so I guess it's not just Knick Nation that overreacts and are short-sighted. It's happening in Boston too, and they're showing themselves with the situation they're in. And you think that they would be supporting their team, but nah, people are fickle, man. So anyway, I wouldn't blow this up. They paying Jaylen Brown 49 million, 53, 57, 61, and 65. They paying Jason Tatum 35, 54, 58, 63, 67. And they in their prime. That's called an investment. You invested in these dudes. You got a team around them. Keep playing ball. Okay, just keep playing ball. You're gonna have to make adjustments because now you've been exposed. Okay, stay with your man. Get guys that are quick and athletic and long, like Mitchell Robinson, like OG Anunoby, that could stay in front of a guy and just make sure, and then you got a chance to beat them. It's not a guarantee, but you got a chance to beat them, okay? So they just got to make some adjustments, but I wouldn't blow this up. You do got to replace Al Horford. I mean, he can't play till he's 100, and you do eventually have to replace Drew Holiday, but like I said, he can play till he's 37. Derek White is 30. You got him signed for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more years, so he's going to play till he's 35. I would keep these dudes for at least another 2 seasons and try to win them with these guys right here. See, but short-sighted people and short-sighted media make short-sighted judgments that end up messing up their team in the short term. But Boston ain't stupid. I mean, they still got the same management. That dude is smart as all, man. He took over for Danny Ainge, and that boy is smart. And so he ain't just gonna blow this up like this right there. He ain't doing it. But so I ain't worried about the media stupid. And that's one of the things that makes Boston a long-term sustainable winner. Like I've been telling y'all, don't listen to fans and media. Do the right basketball thing, the right organizational thing. That's what you do. And that's what I've been telling y'all. That's the Knicks. Do the right basketball thing, the right organizational thing for your team, for your organization. Not no short-term, short-sighted moves because somebody had a bad week or a bad month or they're not shooting the way you like them to shoot or whatever. You got to think longer term, 5-year period. You got to think like that. This team here that Boston had was built since the time they drafted Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That's how they built this thing, and they built it up right. I mean, they got a chip. What you gonna say? So that's an example, though, of how fickle fans are, how stupid media can get, how short-sighted they can get while trying to sound like they know what they're talking about when they don't, and how management has to ignore all of that and stick to the game plan. Stick to the game plan. Ignore all of that and stick to the game plan. That's what they got to do. And I hate Boston, but I like watching a well-run organization. And this is another thing. I started this channel because really, the Knicks were so bad, and especially on the defensive end of the floor, even with Carmelo Anthony, when they had what's that 7-foot dude that won Defensive Player of the Year? That's when I came back. But I knew that team was short term. It was put together with a bunch of older dudes, and that was cool. But then they broke it all up. Fired Woody, broke it all up. Then there was another few years of defensive futility. I always understood and believed that championship teams and organizations on the floor start with defense. Okay, they hired Mike D'Antoni. Obviously, I wasn't a fan, but I knew at least he was a winner. Then they drafted Frank Ntilikina. And I said, oh, they got a defensive point guard. That's what I was excited about. I didn't know the boy was a walking groin pull. But at the time, I was excited because I was like, okay, they got a defensive point guard. That's when I started watching this thing and hoping Frank would become something because of the defense. I wasn't looking for him to score 20 a game. I wanted to see him play 40 minutes, 35 minutes, and lock somebody down. Like I said, he's in the Anthony Ambulance School, chairman of the groin department. I didn't know that. He disappointed me. But that was when I started looking at this stuff and looking at this team because I thought maybe they knew what they're doing. Then when they got the Dom, And from the first moves that Don made, first of all, hiring Tom Thibodeau, defensive coach. That's when I really was focused on this channel because I started to see the makings of a long-term sustainable winning organization. From year one, people were always talking about firing Tibbs. Again, the short-sighted fools. I'm glad that Don didn't listen. Look at the long-term plan. 5 years later, they extended Tibbs, and here we are looking at one game from the Eastern Conference Finals. That's how a rebuild is done. Now we're in championship mode. Tonight, the Knicks got to get that done. Shalom.